Just look at what he is about to do. There are 39,000 meters of air under this man, and he is jumping. Just imagine that time Felix Baumgartner broke the sound barrier without any engine. And he successfully landed on the ground. Right now, this plane is about to land on a helicopter pad that's only 27 meters long. And now this honestly insane pilot is going to fly through a tunnel in his sport plane. Personally, I can't even imagine how people agree to do such things. One tiny mistake, and it would be a disaster. For several decades now, there have been brave people who are ready to do incredible things for the sake of thrills and pure excitement. Meanwhile, Red Bull makes $400 every second. Remember this number, soon you will be shocked. Today you will find out how to sell people carbonated water, sugar, caffeine and taurine packaged in an aluminum can. This whole venture started in 1987. It was organized by Dietrich Mateschitz, an Austrian. He was born quite a while ago, back in 1944. Considering we're talking about Austria, it's remarkable he survived the devastation of Nazi Germany. By the age of 43, Dietrich was living a pretty good life, but he hadn't achieved anything extraordinary. He worked at company Procter & Gamble and over the years rose to the position of marketing director. This experience would prove very useful to him later, as well as his position. Because of this job, he was sent on a business trip to Thailand. Now let's jump to 1976 and take a look at this person. His name is Cheleo Jovida, and he is the first founder of Red Bull. Honestly, Red Bull didn't exist at the time. The original drink was called Kratin Daeng and had a bit of a different recipe. 1982 would bring these two men together. Dietrich arrives in Thailand and feels discomfort due to the change in time zones. At the same time, he hears local stories that ordinary Thai workers drink some kind of caffeinated water that gives them strength. He decided to try a can himself. After all, what harm could it do, right? His discomfort disappeared. And at the same time, he realized he had never tasted anything like this before. Europeans had no idea what energy drinks were. This is why Dietrich decided to find the owner of the original Red Bull, Cheleo Jovida, and struck a deal for a profitable partnership. 5 years later, Red Bull was founded. But how do you convince a European to drink water with sugar, caffeine, taurine, inositol and B vitamins? This was in fact the composition of the original drink. First, there was the issue with European laws. This primarily was about sugar, which had to be greatly reduced. Inositol also had to be removed from the product. Instead, soda appeared. By the way, yes, the original drink was non-carbonated. After this, the legal issues were more or less resolved. But the question remains: how do you convince a European to buy an energy drink that, when consumed excessively, causes insomnia, cardiovascular problems and so on? Remember what Dietrich's job was. He was a marketing director. So the first thing you need to identify is who is your audience, who is the easiest to convince. How old should these people be? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. If you want, you can pause the video. By the way, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, it will be interesting. If you guessed the students, congratulations, you are absolutely right. Dietrich decided to sell not just a drink, but the idea of an energetic and fun life. What does a typical student need? To attend classes all day, and then party in a nightclub or similar place. But what you should tell them to make them think it is cool? The answer is both creative and brilliantly simple. Scattering used Red Bull bottles all over the trash cans, putting them on bar counters, throwing them on the floor, and so on. It might seem like a silly idea, but in reality people see their peers drinking something interesting, and they think that these cans belong to those who have the most fun. Only students have one more trait that make it possible to sell them literally everything. This is the need to be cool and popular. In the mind of an adult teenager, drinking a rare and expensive energy drink will make them just that. So Dietrich made what seemed like a stupid move, but in reality it was genius. He raised the prices. However, he had no intention of reducing sales or artificially creating a deficit. This was just clever masking. In reality, he kept giving out energy drinks for free, because the audience needed to be hooked. Now the next step, introducing everyone to Red Bull. Red Bull created these cars, hired students and had them hang out free Red Bull cans to anyone interested. Then they hired even more students, who also gave away Red Bull for free to other students. The clever part is that everyone thinks Red Bull is a super premium and an affordable product. This makes the cool dudes think it is cool. These cool dudes get it for free. They think they are cool and when given the chance, will buy the cool drink at coolly inflated prices. And the uncool dudes think that to be cool, they need to think like the cool dudes. But they overlook one small detail. The cool dudes never actually thought about it. Eventually, students become addicted to Red Bull on their own accord. Because they need to satisfy their ego, thinking they are now cool and truly unique, unlike anyone else. And the fact that almost everyone thinks this way doesn't really bother anyone. Red Bull successfully marketed their product to the cool chicks and dudes. But that is not the entire paying audience. The question arises, how do you sell an energy drink to those who are all about health? Health is life. Movement is life, movement is sport, sport is energy, energy is Red Bull. As you can see, the formula of success is quite simple. Technically, Red Bull built a trustful message into their brand. The challenge, however, lies in executing this formula. Red Bull didn't just want to be another sponsor of sport teams. They aimed for something bigger. What exactly? They wanted the team to be called Red Bull. And they wanted the team to consist of such crazy personalities that it was simply impossible to ignore them. Just try to imagine what was going through the mind of the people who decided to climb a mountain, jump off it, glide through the air, and land into an open airplane door. Just think about how many things could have gone wrong. Consider the risk. But there are extremes who are willing to do this.
Okay, we've got one ready for the second one.
And all the expenses for the flight to the location, the gear, the planes, the pilots, and of course the paycheck, with 5 zeros maybe, will be covered by Red Bull. They buy racing teams, sponsor competitions and pay for trainings. They even create schools for those who were born without the brake fluid in their body. They've reached 9 billion views on YouTube and probably another 20 on TikTok. Everyone knows what Red Bull is. Each of their videos serves as an advertisement for their energy drink. And subconsciously, it reinforces the slogan "Red Bull gives you wings." In reality, that's not entirely true. As excessive consumption won't make you cool. It will only cause a lot of unnecessary problems. But Red Bull doesn't lie. One can a week before an important event that requires energy won't harm you at all. In fact, it will provide just the energy you need. It's been 37 years since 1987. During this time, the children of former students have become students themselves. Some even have grandchildren. Dietrich Mateschitz successfully sold the idea of a cool life and spread it across multiple generations. And while you watch this video, his company earned around 200 grand. Of course, most of that goes towards running the company. But a few tens of thousands of dollars still remain. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments. Feel free to share your own ideas about other marketing tactics used around the world. I would be very grateful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's meet in one of this video. See you around!